When they were first introduced in Attack of the Clones, the Geonosian species was thriving on its home planet, serving the Separatist cause and hosting some of the largest droid factories created for the war. Even when the Clone Wars found its way to the planet, the species continued to thrive and survive in bountiful numbers. So what happened to the Geonosian species that caused them to all go extinct? A caste-based species separated by positions of drones and warriors, Geonosians were born into hives with each led by a queen. The queen laid eggs for the hive and provided orders to public leaders of Geonosis. Geonosian queens resided underground in the catacombs of the planet. From here, they commanded an army's worth of drones. Queens took no more than 2 years to grow from a small egg to a considerable size. Drones were capable of becoming warriors if they proved themselves worthy by successfully defeating other drones in an arena. Geonosians of the warrior caste were known as Geonosian warriors. They had wings and a thick exoskeleton, and they were dedicated to warfare. Among Geonosian broods, the alpha was known as the Geonosian brood alpha. Geonosians also had 2 sets of mandibles, outer and inner, which they used to gesture. For example, clicking the outer mandibles twice meant work harder, and clicking both sets meant die. Geonosians also celebrated Mekgin, a day in which they celebrated the virtues of industry, and believed themselves to have been blessed by it being known as the Creator. Geonosians would also get drunk by eating a special fungus which reacted with their stomach fluids to create a body odor, which created euphoria. Naturally industrious and barbaric, they were also known to take upon construction projects from outside parties, as was the case when the Bactoid Armor Workshop approached them to design factories for the Trade Federation. Productivity was key to Geonosian society, and if not kept in check with enough tasks, hives could devolve into civil war and result in the deaths of thousands of Geonosians. The Geonosians showed a certain mistrust towards bounty hunters. Nevertheless, they allowed the Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett, who was under the employ of Count Dooku, into their hives during the Separatist crisis. Long ago, the Geonosians inhabited the planet's surface. However, they were driven underground by a series of mass extinctions caused by meteorites and radiation storms. By 32 BBY, a Geonosian named Poggle the Lesser had risen from the drone caste to that of Archduke with the help of Sith Lord Darth Sidious. During the reign of Poggle, Geonosius became a member of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. The Separatists used the Geonosians to help create the Separatist droid army after the Separatist head of state, Count Dooku, personally arrived to negotiate their agreement. This eventually led to a large battle between the Galactic Republic and the Separatists on the planet, marking the official outbreak of the Clone Wars. The Geonosians were the ones responsible for creating the plans for the Deathstar. Later in the Clone Wars, Geonosis was the site of another major battle, which saw Poggle the Lesser captured and the Geonosis primary droid foundry destroyed. Sometime after the second battle, the Republic's Strategic Advisory Cell began to build the battle station that would one day become known as the Deathstar, with Lieutenant Commander Orson Callan Krennic enlisting Poggle the Lesser to make the Geonosians serve as the Republic's workforce. Poggle appeared to agree, but sometime after he returned to Geonosis, he arranged for a Geonosian riot and escaped the Republic flotilla to return to the Confederacy. Following the Clone Wars, the Geonosians were forced by the Galactic Empire to assist in the construction of the Deathstar. Though a new Archduke was appointed to lead the Stelgasian hive, the Geonosians became a servant species to the Empire and were forbidden from freely breeding. When the Geonosians were unable to work out how to refine the superweapon superlaser, the Empire brought in Galen Walton Urso to finish the job. After the Death Star's hyperdrive was operational, Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin ordered the Imperial Weapons Division to sterilize Geonosis using Imperial gas canisters, destroying all but one of the planet's population of approximately 100 billion, the largest genocide ever committed by the Empire to keep the weapon a secret. In 2 BBY, Saw Gerrera, the Spectres, and Captain Rex uncovered evidence that the Empire had perpetrated genocide against the Geonosian species. They also helped Click-Clack, the sole survivor of the sterilization, escape with the last Geonosian queen egg into the depths of the planet. Unfortunately for Click-Clack, his plan didn't last. Although the egg did eventually hatch into a queen who called herself Karina, the last known Geonosian queen was rendered sterile. Karina used the vast technological resources of the planet to attach herself to a portable droid factory. From this, she generated specially modified B-1 series battle droids, which were made to resemble her people. Although they were artificial mockeries of the Geonosians, Karina considered them to be her children. Karina ultimately lost this womb and many of her children when Darth Vader, accompanied by Darth Kelly Lona Afra, Assassin Droid 000, and Assassin Droid BT-1, arrived and stole it from her in order to build his own droid army shortly after the destruction of the first Death Star. Even so, Karina survived the encounter and proclaimed that this setback would not be the end of her empire. Let me know your thoughts on this mass genocide committed by the Empire. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more lore deep dives like this, as well as reviews, news updates, breakdowns, and more. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.